And good morning. Today we're going to be looking at the Bristol 133, which is the Type 3 fighter on the British line. This was an aircraft which, frankly, is a bit of a strange choice by World of Warplanes. Um, there was only a single prototype built, and it was built in the 30s, trying to interest the RAF into buying this particular offering from Bristol. Um, some of the interesting points of the aircraft, as you can see, that had two wing mounted and it had two synchronized cowl mounted machine guns. The fairing type for the undercarriage was interesting, and again looks at a 1930s type of design, which is not at all unheard of. The undercarriage didn't, landing gear didn't fold flat into the wings, which you'd see on later types, but instead went into a streamlined fairing. It was a short aircraft, which probably contributed to its demise. There was only the single type that was made, and it was powered by a British Bristol Mercury engine. The type was actually trialed. Uh, the undercarriage was left down, and the Bristol 133 entered a flat spin. The pilot successfully um, ejected, or didn't eject, but bailed out, I should say. They didn't have ejection seats back then, of course. Um, and that was the end of the entire project. So, like I said, it's a very strange choice. The RAF went with the Gloucester Gladiator instead, which is a bi-wing fighter, um, and that was about the end of the would be the last of the bi-wing fighters. Maybe they wanted a single wing, mono-wing type of fighter, and they chose this instead. That I can't be certain of, but interesting choice.
Show me what you can do, pilot. Let's roll.
All right, so I'm a guy that believes very strongly into taking airfields if you can, um, but I notice I'm the only person doing it, which is not a good move. All right, so we'll go towards the other airfield, see if we can help the other guys do that. One thing that's become already obvious is much faster fighter. How maneuverable it is, won't really be able to tell until we get into combat, but things are looking good here. And so I'd be very interested to see if we can how it will perform in combat. I'm trying to rush in here so we can hopefully get a few shots at enemy aircraft. And I see the Reds have already showed up. So far, decent maneuverability. This is a heavy fighter, but this is not exactly really effective fighter from the Bristol. Not bad, but not great as you would expect from full rifle caliber machine guns. But we got them in the end. Against a bi-wing fighter, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'll go ahead and line up on this fellow. This AR-80. And we're going to move very quickly because I've obviously got somebody in our tail. And for once, you can actually tell that the maneuverability on this particular aircraft is enough to be able to get out of the dreaded tail, having somebody on your six and it proving invariably fatal. Now, this guy is not willing to get off my tail or give up on the fight, so we're in an this tail chase here, and I've picked up a second competitor. It is very unlikely that we're going to survive this, but we'll see. And I see now we have 3. So any attempt to take out one is not going to have a whole heck of a lot of success, and we're not getting a whole heck of a lot of help from our teammates. Again, this is a low tier endeavor, and you're not going to see a whole lot of that sort of stuff. But we'll try to power around and use an engine boost in an attempt to getting this thing around a little bit. And I think the fellow's finally realized he's not going to gain an advantage there. Got some rounds on him. Got some more rounds on him. Got this fighter half dead, and we've got some help from our teammates, so actually we may survive this. We'll see how it goes. Any attempt for me to stay in combat, do anything other than rapidly evade is going to be kind of fatal, obviously. This guy is almost dead. Hopefully we can move on and do something besides play avoid the fighter. And that is the end of that, finally. Not sure that we accomplished a whole heck of a lot for all this, but we did capture the airfield, and that's something. Staying alive at all of this has been something of an accomplishment. Eventually they got me. Alrighty, let's go back and what do I think so far? Very maneuverable aircraft, very dangerous aircraft. Could use just a little bit more firepower, but of course these early types of aircraft were had very limited engines. They could only support so much weight. And any attempt to put heavier firepower usually resulted in very severe performance hits. So you can understand why they would stick with 4 machine gun types. The later Hurricane and Spitfires, in fact, would have 8 rifle type 303 machine guns. So just not a whole lot of firepower by modern standards. In comparison, later aircraft would often be outfitted with 20 millimeter, and towards the end of the war, 30 millimeter cannon armaments. Again, in fitting with the age. Because the rifle type of machine guns, the range of the fire is very limited. You really don't see a whole lot of use out of these until you get to when you start talking about 50 calibers and later 20 millimeters. It's not unusual to see your range on your main armaments come down to go all the way up to 2,000 yards and beyond. Quite interestingly, you notice how quickly I cut inside the man's circle. Guess I should be more politically correct there. I have no idea whether I'm facing a man or a woman here. But you notice that this thing is relatively effective even against spy planes. So again, maneuverability is good, firepower is so-so. Probably about all you can expect out of a fighter at this particular point. And has the ability to take care of itself by getting out of the way by entering tight turns to avoid a lot of damage. You have to be careful about people wanting to ram you. Again, young players, maybe not such good shots. If they can't pull off anything else, they will resort to ramming. I believe that's the second time that Focke-Wulf 57 has shot me down. Good use of the aircraft. And we are reduced down to watching the show for the rest of this because it kept the aircraft long enough to the point where the squall line event took place and stopped you from generating a third aircraft, which is unfortunate. So, luckily it looks like our team has got an advantage here. We'll take a look at that.
Way to go.
We might have a chance of winning this. So, what are my thoughts on the Bristol 133? This is a very enjoyable aircraft to fly. You don't spend just terrible amounts of time trying to get on target. You can obviously, at one point there were 6 aircraft against my 1. I was able to survive for a good long period and eventually defeat the aircraft that was on my tail. Again, on several occasions I was attacked from behind. It was able to tightly turn out of the way. Not bad at all. I'm not sure how much more you could have expected from the aircraft. Again, this is a low tier. Your teammates' effectiveness is going to be suspect in all cases, and you may find yourself very badly outnumbered. And that will wrap that one up. At this point, I don't really see a whole lot of pointing going on with that.
Keep it up, pilots. You can do it.
All in all, this has been an enjoyable experience. I look forward to flying this fighter again, and couldn't ask for a whole lot more from the aircraft than we got. Alright, so it actually did show that for us. We got a flying start, grade 4 fighter, it came up second, not bad, and flying warrior. Personal score, we destroyed 6, assisted with 3, took 2 sectors, not a bad showing. And again, I came in second, and all kudos in this case goes to the player highlighted. And you'll notice we had a player from Falco, group I'm very familiar, clan that I'm very familiar with, did a very good job. And that will do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please mark it up as a like if you do, and I look forward to talking to you again.